Let's get a quick take on the lawsuit facing the Fremont School District from one of its own teachers, claiming that a church operating within Florence High School is a violation of the separation of church and state. Patty Cahoon from Westward, this was kind of a crazy story. I guess it's the cowboy church and pizza parties in the cafeteria. The story's all over the place. What do you think?
Well, I'm all about cowboys, I'm all about pizza parties, but you cannot have a church come in and have the pizza party during school hours, which is what they were doing. Originally, they'd been renting on a Sunday, and churches in town, churches are having trouble finding places, so they're in shopping malls. I guess maybe they can be in schools off hours on a Sunday, but they had gone way too far.
Todd Shepard, editor of CompleteColorado.com. Were you surprised to see that this lawsuit came from one of the district's own teachers?
No, not really. I guess that makes sense if you look at it from a standing perspective, right? You want to make sure that the person who's bringing the suit has the ability to see it through. But I think, generally speaking, we all know that, and obviously we'll get to the legal expert here in a second, but I think we can all agree that the courts are very liberal in these types of cases, and they really, I mean, in general, it's against the expansive use of the religion in the territories, and so because we have this history, this long history, I think we should all expect a settlement on this. This is not going to carry out. We should expect a settlement before the beginning of the next school year.
Craig Silverman, the already referred to legal expert of the panel today, attorney with Silverman & Levis and a radio talk show host on KNUS. Give us the legal background on this, or at least the synopsis. Is this a slam dunk case, or is it going to be a pretty big battle?
Well, all we have right now is the complaint, but the complaint spells out a lot of interesting facts, complete with pictures. I am going to have the attorney Paul Maxim on my show tomorrow morning, so I will learn more, but on the surface, it looks like there might be a violation, but I expect the school district has dug in its heels. Most attorneys would first approach the school district and say, do you want to settle this out of the court, or should we put forth a publicity bombardment? Because they did it through coordination of a media professional, Denver Post, all the news stations ready to go. And the high school looks bad, the Fremont School District, but I'm not sure they will settle. I do think they went over the line. Look, I'm not just a legal expert, but I'm an expert on being Jewish. And this plaintiff is Jewish, and I'll tell you, I like being Jewish, but I really love pizza. So that's a problem for a Jewish kid in that school. What do? They want to give you some pizza, but they want to give you some Jesus along with it. And there's a lot of peer pressure. Look, I believe in separation of church and state. I think this went over the line.
Natasha Gardner, senior editor at 5280 Magazine. Wrap it up for us.
Well, over the line, I think, is a key point here. You know, a church being in a school and paying rent, there's probably precedent and examples where that's fine. What seems to be the problem, though, is they continue to just sort of make more and more mistakes. When the teacher approached the school district about it, or approached the administration, one of their suggestions was that in the morning, instead of going in the main doors past a prayer group, that he could go in through a side door. Now, when I start to see things like that, it bothers me. Like is that really the response that school has to this situation? So it's not surprising to me that it continued to escalate, because there was a problem and it was growing.